Hey guys, and thanks for joining me for yet another video. In this presentation, we're going to take a look at how to make turmeric dill fish fillet. Now, in this presentation, I am actually using some Bassa fish fillet. I'm using some fresh dill from my garden, as well as infusing that all with some turmeric. So this is a super easy one. It's a classic, and I invite you to get into it with me. Hey y'all, and thanks for joining me again for another video. Here I have some Bassa fish fillets with the skin on. These two I already took the skin off. I just prefer no skin on this recipe, so I'm gonna finish taking the rest of them off as well. You're also gonna need 1 lime, 1 lemon. You're gonna need a large onion minced, about 1.5 cups worth of onion, some green onion roughly chopped, and some basil. You're also gonna be needing a bit of minced garlic, minced ginger, and a bit of chicken base seasoning. And of course there's a star ingredient, which is dill. I'm gonna be going outside right now to pick some dill, and yeah, we'll proceed with this. So you're outside in a part of my garden, a particular portion where I keep my dill. So here, as you can see, I have some dill growing nice and free here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna be picking a few strands of dill, and we're gonna be using that for our meal. So I'm just gonna be picking some dill here, guys, that we're gonna use today. Yeah, so now that we have our dill, guys, we're gonna be using a nice portion of dill for this meal. For this amount of dill I have here, I'm probably going to use, I'm gonna roughly chop half of it up to add to the fish, and then at the end I'm gonna need some fine tops. So you'll see what I do for the garnish at the end. But I'm gonna be roughly chopping this up and saving the nice tips for the end. So we have all our fish that's been peeled, all the skin's been taken off of it. It's still bone in. This bone is a bit difficult to take out, so I would rather leave the structure of the fish in this case. So to this, remember I showed you a bit of ingredients that we're gonna use, like the chicken base, minced ginger, minced garlic, and onion, fresh basil, and fresh green onions. To that, I showed you the lime and the lemon. This is the minced dill, and we just cut fresh from the garden. This is about a good, I'd say 1/2 cup of dill, and then we have another 1/2 cup that's just been stranded and not cut, just the tips taken off nicely, so we can use this as garnish at the end. So this will be saved for the end, and this will be used for the seasoning. So we're gonna go ahead right now and season this up. I've also added a tablespoon of turmeric, 1/2 teaspoon of curry powder, 1/2 teaspoon of Geera powder, and a tablespoon of green seasoning. So we're gonna go ahead and start seasoning. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with a tablespoon of chicken base seasoning. I'm going to teaspoon of minced ginger, 1/2 teaspoon of minced garlic, 1/2 teaspoon of Geera powder, or 1/2 teaspoon of curry powder, or tablespoon of turmeric. We're also going to go in with 1/2 a portion of the onions that we chopped, for the basil that we chopped, and we're going to go in with 1/2 of the green onions that we chopped. We're also going to go in with all of our dill that we minced. We're going to use all. So we're going to use that full 1/2 cup of minced dill that we chopped. And we're also going to be putting in 1/2 of a lemon, 1/2 of a lime, sorry. And so yeah, we're just going to squeeze out all the juice out of this first 1/2 of the lime. And with that, we're going to just be giving this fish a nice mix to make sure all these ingredients are properly well incorporated. So I'm going to give this a mix, and then we'll let it sit for about 20 minutes before we proceed with this menu, so that all the flavors can marinate. So we're also going to go in with our full teaspoon of green seasoning. So for me, I just go in with my hands, and I'm going to just be seasoning this fish, and then I'll let it sit for that 20 minutes that I initially mentioned. And then so to a cooking pot, I added 2 tablespoons of cooking oil, and I allowed that oil to get super hot. So what I'm going to be doing next is I'm going to be throwing in my fish into that oil. I'm not going to be doing anything to it for now. I'm just going to make sure the base of the fish is sitting in that little bit of oil down there. And we're going to let that sit for 3 minutes. The bowl that the fish was in, we're going to add, I'm going to say 2 pot spoons worth of water. And I'm just going to be tossing it around because we're not going to throw this out. We're going to be using this right now actually to add to our pot of fish. I'm just going to add that little bit of water there. That was about 2 tablespoons worth, approximately. Yeah, 2 tablespoons worth. And we'll let that sit for 3 minutes. It's been 3 minutes undisturbed with the fish just put into the pot. So what we're going to do is we're just going to be flipping over the pieces that were initially sitting on the bottom. We're just going to be flipping them over to be on the top. So what's on the bottom will now be on the top. And we're going to replace it nicely back into its position that it's sitting in. So flip all the pieces of fish over so that it can get steamed for another 3 minutes. So after we flip the fish and allow the other side to steam for the 3 minutes, we have a remainder of seasoning, which includes the fresh basil, green onion, and the onion chopped. We're going to be adding that into our pot at this time. We're also going to be adding a half of our lemon. So we're going to use a full half, so 2/4 of it. And we're going to be squeezing that directly into so it's been about a good 15 minutes of this fish cooking undisturbed. So I'm going to be adding half a teaspoon of minced ginger, half a teaspoon of minced garlic, and a teaspoon of chicken base seasoning. I'm going to be mixing that in together. And then I'm going to be adding this to my sauce just to renew it, like to wake it up. And then I'm going to be adding my dill to this. Yeah, so I'm going to be adding this fresher seasoning to this pot. I'm going to be, giving it a bit more flavor by doing so. As well as we're going to be adding our remainder of dill, the one that we're going to leave back for garnish, because this is just about done. I'm going to be turning the stove off in 5 minutes. This fish cooked a total of 25 minutes in the next 5 minutes, and that will be so guys, the fish has cooked for a total of 25 minutes like I just mentioned, and it's ready to be served at this point. So this is a turmeric dill Bassa fish. It could have been tilapia, might have been an easier fish, or a fish without bone if you prefer, but I had Bassa fish, so that's what I used. And this is ready to be served. We're gonna set up a plate and I'm gonna show you exactly what this is gonna look like in a second. So I wanted to come back and show you the finale of this fish. So this is the turmeric lemon fish. There's a slice of lemon at the end there that you could even infuse even more. I served it over a bed of rice and some sweet potatoes on the side. And yeah, that's how this meal's going down, and that's what it looks like, guys.